Eston says, that's the first time I pooped in the mountain. In a cloud. Whoa. First time I pooped in a cloud.
That one's going to be on camera.
Oh, shoot. I saw.
I might start the video that way.
This is our cacti and succulent garden, featuring cacti from the Americas, and we have a small succulent collection from Africa and Asia, but we're mostly focused on cacti and succulents of the North American deserts. So the beds are designed geographically. The first bed that you see when you walk in here is what you would see in the Tucson Sonoran Desert. The Sonoran Desert is a big place with lots of different bioregions to it. But so the plants that you'll see in this particular space are things you would see in the Tucson Valley, specifically, and very much, of course, the iconic saguaro cactus.
Just getting his arm, huh? Just getting one little arm there.
Yep. And then chain fruit cholla.
Which looks so good against the sun. I mean, those spines like really feel like they're lit up, don't they?
Set it off, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just planted a lot of Mexican fence posts in this space here. So this space here is also southeastern Arizona. So these are cacti, again, from the Sonoran Desert, but not necessarily ones you'll find in the wild in the Tucson Valley. And as we walk in on this side of me here, now we're in the Baja region. So still part of the Sonoran Desert, technically. And we have the Oregon pipe cactus. And the other iconic plant from this region would probably be the boojum tree.
Yes, the boojum tree.
So the boojum tree is actually on his way of going dormant. Is dormant in the summer and leaves out with the winter rains.
Although he's got a little green top up there.
Yeah,
cute.
The boojum is it's always tricky. It looks a little dead most of the time.
Yeah, fooled you. I mean, but there's quite a common technique for evolutionary technique for plants is to drop all its leaves during the heat of the summer.
Correct.
Or the winter, whatever it is.
Yeah, and the boojum's in the genus Fouquieria, which we have our ocotillo cactus here in Tucson, and those basically look like sticks until the rains come in the summer. They leaf out.
And they leaf out really quickly, don't they?
Oh yeah, in a matter of days, leaf out and bloom, and our native ocotillo actually don't care what season it is. If it rains, they'll leaf out. It is a chance to grow. So cacti are famous for being slow growers and long-lived. But that's mostly because a lot of the time they're not growing. They're just holding while it's too hot or it's too cold. They're just holding, or it's just too dry and they're just waiting. And so there's only actually small periods of time during the year where they're growing in nature. So in your own yard, your own cacti collection, if you want them to grow faster, you can water them more often than you might think. They will grow faster. They'll also die sooner. So it's a little bit of a live fast, die young sort of scenario going on. So here we have the center island here is the Mojave and the Great Basin deserts. So these are plants that you'll find in those regions. Those regions are generally colder than the Sonoran Desert and a lot drier than the Sonoran Desert. So one of the challenges we actually have with our collection being in the ground and exposed to the elements is there are times when we get a little too much rain at once for some of these plants. And so there's not much we can do about that. They adapt, and there's some that we can't have. Last year, for example, we had the wettest July on record, and because of that, we did lose a few specimens because they're from areas that get a whole lot less water. They got more water in the month of July than they would get in 2 years in their native habitat. The old man cacti are probably some of the folks' favorite here.
Very impressionable.
My favorite are the Mammillaria genus. We have a lot to show, a lot of different ones. They come in all manner of color and type of spine, but they're all very similar in that short, bulby, bunchy growth pattern. Some of our native wildflowers are still in bloom, and along with some of our hedgehog cacti, the Echinopsis and Echinocereus here is in bloom. The hedgehog there.
So brilliant.
So cacti flowers are some of the prettiest, most vibrant colors and largest flowers out there, but they also tend to last about a day. So when you come to the gardens, if you see, it's just a little bit of a blessing to see the bloom of a cacti, because if you came on a different day, it wouldn't be there. That said, the cacti will have rolling blooms, so although the one inflorescence only lasts a day, there'll be multiple days of inflorescence.
So what part of the area is this?
So we're still in the Sonoran Desert,
okay.
but we are transitioning into the Chihuahuan.
I love. Is this one of the Buddleias?
Yeah, this is the globe mallow, marbifolia, I believe. Everyone called this the COVID plant.
Why is that?
Because of
because the flower.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was, yeah, and to be fair, each one of those orange specks is a flower.
Oh my God! Look at
itself.
the ACE2 receptor right there. Here's another Opuntia. This is pretty.
This is Guaiacum angustifolia. I never say the genus correctly, but yeah, it's got a lovely purple flower to it, and actually its showiest part is the seed pod, which kind of bursts open showing a red seed. It's very pretty in the summertime. We have the little leaf cordia in bloom. And then the Coryphantha, this is the macromeris, I believe.
Yes, it is.
All right, good. Right behind it, we actually have this. In bloom here is another Opuntia. This is actually not from one of the deserts. Opuntia is one of the most variable genus in Cactiaceae. There's a native Opuntia to every state in the continental U.S. So this is the plains Opuntia, so you would find this in some of the drier regions of the Midwest plains area, so Oklahoma, Texas, maybe even into Kansas. And then this backside here is our South American bed. So these are all cacti and succulents from the South American region. So that's a big space, and we're working right now just to reorganize a little bit. Cacti are variable. We always think of cacti as being arid plants, which they are, but there's also cacti that thrive in rainforests. So actually right behind me here is a rainforest cactus.
It's like a type of Pachycereus.
Yeah, this is the grandifolia. So it's sometimes known as the leaf cactus. So the spines of a cactus are modified leaves genetically, and this cacti has both the modified leaf as a spine and just a regular leaf. So in the driest of conditions, it'll just lose the leaves. But this is actually native to rainforests. This one as well is a water-loving cacti. Sometimes this one's known as the South American Queen of the Night. So this one will bloom about on a monthly basis during the summertime with very large, white, fragrant flowers. In the evening, it's moth-pollinated. And by the time the sun is all the way up, the flowers are down. So here we have some succulents, mainly from Africa and parts of Eurasia. And that's also behind you, other than the trees, these are our succulent beds. So all cacti are succulents, but not all succulents are cacti. And cacti is a family of plants, Cactiaceae. The thing I mentioned earlier about the modified leaf is really one of the main distinctions of a cactus versus a succulent. Succulents, though they might look exactly like a cactus, that the thorn on a succulent is more like a woody material of like a branch than it is and it's not genetically related to a leaf. Some great examples on the other side of this bed of succulents that to the eye from a distance look a lot like cacti.
Right, these are the euphorbs.
Yes. So a close-up, you can see the difference between, and it's really, if you look where the spine or thorn is coming out of the euphorb here, is very different than where the spines come out of a cacti. The areola of the cacti spine. So here we'll come over here. You can get up close and you'll see the difference. Now, for most cacti, the spines are a means of defensive protection. And so what that means is they want to hold on to their spines. They're there to hurt you if you touch them, but they're not looking to put their spines in you. They just want you to leave them alone. Now, that is not true for the prickly pear and the cholla, the Opuntia and the Cylindropuntia. Those spines are designed to come off inside of you, or
and work their way in.
But what they're
like
really designed to do
quill.
is they're designed to stay on you so that when you pull away, you bring a segment of the plant with you.
It's like a fish hook, right?
Kind of,
barbed.
yeah. So they're microscopically barbed. So you can't see it, but when you're pulling it out, it pulls the skin with you. And that's so that when the animal, which might be you, pulls away, you'll possibly, hopefully, in the plant's opinion, take a little bit of one of the segments with you, and then you'll go some distance and scratch it off, brush it off, and that segment has the potential to plant itself and be a new plant in a new space. So it will be genetically the same, but it is a means of propagation. So as we walk down on this side of the bed, we're in Mexico, and sort of it goes from the west side to the east side is actually going from northern Mexico to southern Mexico into the Central American states. There's a lot of cacti that are native to Mexico and the Central American countries. So one of our iconic succulents to the North American deserts and South America as well are the agaves. Iconic because lots of us like mezcal and tequila. But what I love about the agave genus is that it used to be a family, Agaveaceae.
Agaveaceae, I remember that on old books.
Yeah, in a lot of old books. So nomenclature has changed with genetics. As we've been able to genetically test plants, we're finding out that what we thought were related were not related, and things that we didn't realize were related are related. And agaves are one of those cool ones. So agaves are in the asparagus family.
Which you could tell when this one hasn't really come out yet, but I have this this desire when it's full. I just want to snip it off and put it in my own homegrown asparagus bed and be like, look at my giant asparagus.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you can see on the flowering stalk of the agave, it looks very much like an asparagus. We have a floral
flower.
stalk opening there. We have them in different stages here. Here's one of the Queen Victorias blooming. So that one going to bloom over there was the King Ferdinand, and this is the Queen Vic. And for as pretty as the body of the plant is, its floral isn't really. I mean, the stalk is impressive.
Yeah.
But this one particularly doesn't put on a large inflorescences,
Right.
or even a large mass that will look like a large inflorescence. So the other thing about agaves are once they bloom, they die. A common name for the group is century plant, and that's just they live a long time, and then you get to see the flower once, and then it's done. We have another one going to bloom over here, it looks like.
Oh yeah. It's kind of curving over the walkway.
The weather extremes in the past few years have caused a lot of our agave to go to bloom. In my opinion, there's not horticulture. The sciences of horticulture are always catching up to natives. So especially in the American Southwest natives, horticulturally, we don't know how to do some things that we know how to do it for other plants from other regions. One of those is forcing bloom or forcing flower. So I haven't read anything that can tell you exactly what will trigger an agave to bloom. I have suspicions that it's both that it can be stress related, but also the amount available moisture related.
And probably the age, I would imagine, too.
Well, age has a part, but I know it's not the only part, because I have agaves exactly the same age, and I know they're exactly because they've pupped from the mother plant at the same time, and one will bloom way before the years before another, and so what caused that bloom is a little hard to say. We did have a lot of agave though go to bloom in the last 2 years when we had the driest in 2020. We had the driest monsoon on record, and then the next year we had the wettest, and so that combined force seemed to push a lot of agave to flower. I guess the other iconic one I'm sure you got though was the jumping cholla.
Yeah, I think I got that because the light was looking so good in it.
So a jumping cholla doesn't actually jump, but it is. The segments can be very lightly held on to the plant, and and the vibration can shake them off, but it's really just, it feels like you're jumping. It jumps at you because if you don't have what we call our desert whiskers, a slight little brush can cause a large piece of the plant to climb aboard your skin.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam, for the whole tour.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Stay tuned on Plant One On Me for more botanical tours, talks, and how-tos. And if you're looking to further your knowledge on the plant kingdom, then have a look at our various online courses from Troubleshoot Your Houseplants to the Houseplant Masterclass. Additionally, we have a second channel we started last year called Flock Finger Lakes, where we cover more on outdoor gardening, habitat restoration, agroforestry, and even more. So check that out if that interests you. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next episode.